Hello and welcome to That's Football. It's our Premier League preview. Is Antonio Conte facing the sack on Monday? They played at Manchester City in the big Premier League game of the weekend. Humiliation probably incoming for Chelsea. You look at the way Man City are playing at the moment. They devastated Arsenal last night for the second time in a few days. Chelsea back in Manchester to face Manchester City this time. Lost to United last week. You wouldn't fancy their chances away to Manchester City. And another loss for Conte. A lot of people feel that he will survive because they've got the Barcelona game coming up. But the reality is, as we look at this Premier League preview and we look at the way that the Premier League is lined up at the moment, I mean, it's not great reading if you're a Chelsea fan if you lose against Man City, because forget Man City, they're going to win the league, 75 points, 16 points clear at the top now, absolutely annihilated everybody. But Chelsea are in 5th place at the moment with 53 points, 2 points behind Spurs, so it's not all over, but if Spurs win and Liverpool win and they lose, they could be as much as I do maths, quick maths, 2 plus 2, 5 points off top 4, which is not devastating to them, because I think the positive for Chelsea may well be that they get knocked out of the Champions League by Barcelona and they can totally focus on the Premier League. But it's I'm not going to go any other way other than a Man City win in that. I also want to talk about Marco Reus from Borussia Dortmund. He's still there, isn't he? He's been injured for a long time. He's coming back now. He's strongly linked with the move to Spurs and Liverpool today. Interesting, isn't it? I mean, I suppose Liverpool because of the Klopp connection. I think Liverpool are looking good to be back in the Champions League, aren't they? So it's maybe that's the sort of player that they could go for. I don't know. RJ Gaming says, I don't see us finishing in the top 4, to be honest, but I don't know whether he's a Chelsea fan. I'm doing very well, Blue Manchester. Nathan Da Vinci says they'll be 5 behind very soon. Come on, you Spurs. Well, let's have a look at the weekend fixtures for you. Let's go with, I want to go Premier League. Fixtures, and yeah, so you got one thing we've got to be careful of this weekend as well is obviously the snow. I've just been out in the snow getting some milk and bread. It's apparently going to snow quite heavily around the Midlands again this afternoon. Not that there's many Midlands clubs in the Premier League at the moment, only West Brom, and they're away to Watford, so I think they'll be alright. But different stories around the country. Swansea are at home to West Ham. That game will probably fall victim to the weather, I think. Potentially Southampton as well. They're looking at their game against Stoke. But you've got Burnley-Everton tomorrow lunchtime. Both sort of safe, but not. I can see that being a draw. Leicester against Bournemouth again. Both will be safe, but could get dragged in. I think I fancy a draw for that as well. Southampton-Stoke, if the game survives, I think that's very interesting in relation to the bottom of the league. Both of them really, really close to it. Southampton basically in the bottom 3 with Swansea and Palace. They're 16th, but they're level the same points. Stoke in the bottom 3. They're second from bottom. So that game could do with going ahead for Southampton, but I don't think it will do. If it does, I quite fancy a Southampton home win for that. Stoke are not a good team. Swansea West Ham, again Swansea bottom, West Ham down the bottom. Swansea could do with that game going ahead, but I think it will fall victim to the weather. In fact, Moyes has already started on about that. Tottenham Huddersfield, Tottenham at home, Huddersfield away. You know, this is not a good fixture for Chelsea fans. They will be 5 points behind on Sunday night of 4th place, stuck in 5th, if they don't get something at Manchester City, because Spurs are going to beat Huddersfield comfortably, I would imagine. Watford, West Brom, as we discussed. West Brom rooted to the bottom. They need a result. Pardew apparently will be sacked if he doesn't get a result away to Watford. Watford are much improved at the moment. Liverpool, Newcastle, 5:30 kickoff. Again, you would fancy that is going to be a comfortable 3 points for Liverpool, which again would put them above Manchester United on a Saturday night with a game in hand. That would put them up to 2nd place with 60 points. United not playing till Monday night. Yeah, you can't imagine... You cannot imagine Liverpool not beating Newcastle, especially when they're at home. It's a comfortable 3 points for them. It really is. Moving on to Sunday, Brighton, Arsenal. Brighton looking more and more safe. More and more safe. They're in 12th place, 31 points. Only 4 points technically, but it's such a congested place. Arsenal, I mean, does it even matter to Arsenal that they beat Brighton? I suppose it does. I'll answer your question in a minute, Ethio News. Thank you for the contribution. I mean, does it even matter to Arsenal? It's all about the Champions League now, isn't it? And, sorry, sorry, Arsenal fans, you're not in the Champions League. It's all about Champions League qualification and that double header against AC Milan, which we'll be covering on That's Football with a watch-along. And then Man City-Chelsea. I've got to say, I think Man City will brush Chelsea aside. Willian looked brilliant against United last week, and Hazard can turn it on, but they haven't got a striker, and I think if they are not going to play Fabregas in the midfield, they are massively weakened when they play Drinkwater. And their back five is good, but it's quite inexperienced. Christensen, Rudiger, they're still learning their trade. So I think Chelsea are a good team, but I think Man City will be a step too far. I think maybe 2-3-1 there. And then Manchester United playing Crystal Palace on Monday night. Interesting game. Crystal Palace will have their best player missing, which is Fosu Mensah. He can't play against his parent club, but I quite fancy United to go and get a result there, especially because we'll be behind Liverpool again, and we've got Liverpool on a week tomorrow. So we want to be ahead of them before we play them. So I'm going to go Manchester United too. I don't think it'll be pretty. It isn't normally, but I think United might win that 1-0. You said you would do a World Cup. Who do you support? Says Ethio News. Thanks for that contribution, Ethio News. I support England, because I'm English. I'm not massively into international football. I used to be, but I will be supporting England. Hi Mark, just waking up. Good morning, says Dylan. Download the football app called VOTMob. It's really good, says Snaps. Yep. And Royce is banging in the goals since he returned. Matthew McFadden. Be interesting to see if he moves this summer. Nathan Da Vinci's off to watch the mighty Tottenham play Huddersfield tomorrow. And Matthew McFadden up again with Royce, says he's my favourite non-United player. Bean and Blue Manchester asking me how I'm doing. I'm very, very good. Would you take Manolas at Manchester United, says Fejan Sajad. I used to mention him quite a lot. I really did like Manolas. Wins a lot of aerial duels, really good player. But we've just not ever really moved for him, have we? And I think Manchester United are alright for centre-backs at the moment. Knight Tim Seamy says Morata is class. I would fear him even when he's out of form. I didn't fear him last week as a United fan. I really didn't. Hazard and Willian are another matter. Champ and Herb says I look good in a hoodie. You know, literally, I literally got in the house about 5 minutes ago, and this is one of my layers. Underneath here, shouldn't do it on That's Football, but that's another of my layers. So there you go. But controversial maybe to the non-United fans, but no, it's very, very cold out there, and I had to trek out and get a bit of bread and milk, the essentials. Apparently it's going to chuck it down with snow this afternoon, so I'm doing a United Stand Jose Mourinho press conference reaction at 2 o'clock, and then there'll be United Stand at 8 o'clock, but this afternoon I'm just going to bunker down, get a board game out with the kids, hotel or something like that, and just relax. And a lot of people are off in the UK today because of that, and if you are in the UK, I would say don't travel unless you need to. The roads are treacherous. I think Xander's going to do a sort of Skype show on That's Football tonight as well, for anybody who's interested. I believe he's going to do it at about 8:30 tonight UK time. So if you fancy calling in and get involved in that, do. Remember to subscribe to the channel. Please do drop us a like. And basically, this is the Premier League preview. I think we've had a good week on That's Football. We've been live pretty much every day at midday. We've done a watch along like last night. So it's starting to build a bit of momentum that we want to keep going, and I will try and get a couple of things up over the weekend as well. But we've got the call in tonight, we've got the double header watch along on Sunday. One of us is doing Atletico Madrid Barcelona, the other one's doing Chelsea City. We've got to flip a coin on that, so lots and lots of things to look forward to. Would I take Hazard at United, says Vazan? Yeah, I would do, yeah. Who's your favourite non-United player, says K Martins? It's a tough one. You know what? This is going to shock a lot of people, but Sergio Aguero is a very good striker. But my favourite non-United player is Ronaldo because, obvious reasons. Dembele or Milankovic-Savic, says Josh Hudson. Moussa Dembele is fantastic at Spurs at the moment. He really is, but he's 31. Milankovic-Savic, I think, is 23 just, and I think he's going to be a superstar. So I'd go Milankovic-Savic. Scott Wilson doesn't like Celtic. How many goals do you think Aubameyang is going to finish the season with, says Knight Tim Sini? Well, I've got a video planned around Aubameyang and Mkhitaryan. All I'd say to Arsenal fans is I got a lot of stick from United fans about Mkhitaryan because I said good riddance, and I like him as a person, but I called this 3 months ago. I said Mkhitaryan has got the Kagawa syndrome. Really good player in Germany, but he's not up for the Premier League physically. And to be honest, I think I'd put the same thing at Griezmann. I'm not convinced Griezmann, That was the only... I wanted Griezmann at United, but my only concern about him was physically. Can he deal with the Premier League? And Mkhitaryan can't deal with it. So there we go. AJ now loves me. FEO News says, good one on Aguero. I like him too. Favourite City player, Blue Manchester, was Aguero. I do like David Silva as well. You know, I'm not, you know, Manchester United's my club. So Manchester City, obviously, Liverpool, I have a big rivalry there. But I'm not naive to the fact that Salah is, for me, Player of the Year and deserves Player of the Year. For a winger to be doing what he's doing is brilliant. And in an inferior team to Man City. And, you know, Silva, Aguero, they're good players. De Bruyne, good players. Sane, I like Sane as well. You know, so for all this apparent, oh, you're just salty about City... Well, yeah, I am, because I want my club to do better, but I'm wide awake to the fact that they've got some great players. Sane's fantastic. I love wingers. I've always loved wingers, and he's fantastic. Really, really good. Anyway, I'll blabber on forever. Thanks, everyone, for watching. We will have a live show tonight at 8:30, a call-in. We want to start doing that sort of thing. There will be lots of content going up over the weekend, so make sure you've subscribed. Get that notification on with your bell, like the video, and I'll see you all later. I'll see you at 2 o'clock if you're going to be on the United Stand Mourinho press conference reaction preview. Thanks everyone for watching. Speak to you all soon.